Hey, it's great to be with you again. I have a question. Are you a complainer? Nobody wants to be that guy, right? But we do have a sense of, we get into this complaining mode, don't we? In our area, in the Philadelphia area, the Eagles, the Phillies, the Union, the Sixers, the Flyers, they're all, some of them have gone to championships, and it's been incredible, this run of awesome sports teams in the last year. But the Eagles lost the Super Bowl. The Phillies lost the World Series last year, and they got knocked out in the championship series this year. The Union got knocked out in the championship game last year. The Sixers got knocked off in the playoffs. And even though the Flyers are playing well right now, they're very young, and so there's a lot to complain about with all of those teams. Don't listen to sports radio if you don't want your right to be damaged. We don't need to complain about everything, do we? Just because it doesn't work out the way that we hoped it would, just because we didn't win the championship, just because we didn't get what we expected. The Hebrews were that way, right? In the Old Testament, they're enslaved in Egypt. And Moses comes, he's called by God. God says, set my people free. So Moses goes, he talks to Pharaoh. Pharaoh says, I will not let your people go. And then there's a series of plagues. And finally, Pharaoh says, okay. Moses takes the people, they hightail it, they're on the road, they come to the Red Sea, and it's a dead end. They can't get across. Pharaoh's army is coming, and the people said, why did you bring us out here to die? We could have been hanging out around our fires, eating pots of meat. And Moses is like, when did that happen? You were making clay bricks. And God said, stretch out your hand. And the sea parted, and the people crossed the sea. And as Pharaoh's army came into the Red Sea area, the waters came back, and the Hebrews were free. Yet, within days, right, Moses goes up to look for the 10 commandments from God, and the people, well, he's up there for a while, and they lose hope, and they lose faith, and they melt down all their gold jewelry, and they make a golden calf. When Moses comes back down, he's like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me right now? And then they go further, and then they start to complain about no food. So God provides manna every day for them to eat. And then they complain about no water a couple times. And one time, Moses hits a rock with his staff and water pours out. Another time, the water is bad, and God says, throw a piece of wood in. So Moses throws a piece of wood in, and the water becomes sweet. And God provides for his people, right? It's not the way they expected. It's not the way that they thought it was going to happen. So before it happens, they all complain. Are we those people? When things at church don't go the way we want them to, do we complain? Do we point fingers at the Sunday school teacher or the choir director or the youth leader or the pastor or whoever? Are we complainers? Or do we look at God, keep our eyes on him, and have a deep faith that he knows what he's doing, that his plan is happening, even though we don't understand it all the time, and even though we don't know how it will work out? As we go through our days, may we keep our eyes on Jesus. May we believe that God is working even in the midst of things that we don't understand. May God continue to pour out his grace, mercy, and blessings on each and every one of us until we get to meet again. Amen. Amen.